Hi, welcome back to Communication for English 2. I'm Stephen Judge, and today we're going to continue with healthy lifestyles, our second unit in our series. Today we're going to do Unit 3, expressing certainty and doubt about the advice someone gives to you. Now, the first unit we talked about giving and asking for advice. The second unit, if you remember, was indicating whether you were going to follow or not follow the advice given to you. Today, I want to go over some useful expressions people use to indicate whether they like, or agree with, or disagree with, or dislike the advice. So here we have our useful expressions. Of course, I doubt it, no chance, maybe, absolutely, I think you're right, I'm not sure, definitely not, definitely, anything's possible, I don't think so, not a chance, I know. Now, these expressions communicate if you think the advice is good or bad. Take a moment. Can you identify their meaning? Do you know which ones are used if the advice is good or bad? Let's see how you did. So for advice that you think is a good idea, of course, absolutely, I think you're right, I know, definitely. For advice that you think is a bad idea, no chance, definitely not. Not a chance, I don't think so, I doubt it. And not sure. So, maybe, I'm not sure, anything is possible, I don't know. So let's look at some examples. So some example advice. Our first one is, you have to sleep more than 8 hours a night. You should drink 2 liters of water a day. You shouldn't eat red meat. If you drink 2 bottles of beer at night before you sleep, you will sleep better. So all these advice you may agree or disagree with. And so let's look at these phrases used to agree or disagree. So here, our first one, you should sleep more than 8 hours a night. A person who agrees will say, definitely, I'm going to go to bed early. And look how they use going to indicate that they're going to follow the advice. Someone that says, who thinks it's a bad idea, not a chance. I can't sleep more than 7 hours. And they use can't to indicate that they're not going to follow the advice. Question, here we have, I'm not sure. I could try to get at least 8. So then they use could try to indicate that it's a maybe, a low probability that they're going to follow the advice. Our second suggestion was, you should drink 2 liters of water a day. Someone who agrees with will say, I know, I'll carry a bottle with me. And they use will to indicate that they're going to follow the advice. Someone who disagrees is, I doubt it, I might not be able to drink that much. And they use might not to indicate that they're low probability that they're going to follow the advice. And someone who's not sure will say, maybe I could try to drink more. And they use could, which has a lower probability that they may or may not follow the advice. Our third advice, you shouldn't eat red meat. Someone who agrees, well, we would say, oh, I think you're right, I'm going to cut down. And you can see they use going to indicate a higher probability they're going to follow the advice. Someone who disagrees says, no chance, I won't give up hamburgers. So using won't to indicate a low probability of them following the advice. Someone who's unsure will say, anything's possible. I should eat less. So they use should to indicate that the advice is good, but they may or may not follow it. So the probability is still low. It's a 50-50. Our fourth and final advice, you should drink 2 bottles of beer at night before you sleep. You will sleep better. Someone who agrees will say, absolutely, I'm drinking some tonight. So using present continuous, a near, very near future to indicate that they're going to follow the advice. Someone who disagrees, definitely not. It's not healthy, so I won't do it. So they use won't to indicate a very low probability that they're going to follow. Someone who's unsure says, I don't know. I may try it tonight and see if it works. So may, again, a low probability that they may actually follow the advice. So we use these phrases before giving the probability of following the advice. But my favorite Canadian artist, Alanis Morissette, has this phrase in her song, good advice you just can't take. So we have, you have to sleep more than 8 hours a night, definitely. So the person agrees, but follows with, but I can't tonight. I need to finish my homework assignment. So they use definitely to indicate it's good advice, and they use can't to indicate they're not going to follow the advice. So they're opposite each other. So but indicates. Advice number 2, you should drink 2 liters of water a day. I know, but it's difficult. I'll try. So again, they know the advice is good, and they use I will because it's a weaker, so they may or may not follow the advice. You shouldn't eat red meat. The person agrees, I think you're right, but I'm never going to cut down. So here they disagree. So they think it's a good, they know it's a good idea, but they disagree with the advice. And last, if you drink 2 liters of bottle of beer at night before you sleep, you will sleep better. Absolutely, but I'm not drinking some tonight. So they agree with it's good advice, but use present continuous negatively to indicate they're not going to do it. So you can agree with the advice, but use low or 0 probability phrases to not indicate you're not going to follow the advice. So again, these are useful expressions to indicate that you think the advice is a good idea, bad idea, or you're not sure. Sometimes they're used to indicate that you're going to, with the right tense, you're going to follow the advice, or used with but and a tense that you're not going to follow the advice. My name's Steve Judge, and this was the final unit of Healthy Lifestyle Living and about giving and receiving and responding to advice. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.